All right, I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rakak Kadesh, the ones to the elders and apostles to tell me the truth. All right, this is Jeremiah 31, and I'm going to read verse 22. How long would thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh had created a new thing on the earth. A woman should compass a man. All right. And a woman compassing a man is not a good thing. It's a very wicked and backwards thing. And as you can see, Babylon is so lost and so gone. They are even promoting TV shows showing the weakness of their whole nation. As you can see, whenever they got something that's completely wicked and off, they try to make Jake the face of it. And what you got is this show promoting adultery and with women having multiple husbands, which we know is a sin according to the Bible. So this is no backwards way of thinking. All right, now you go over to Jeremiah chapter 51 in verse 30. All right, Jeremiah 51 verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forbidden to fight. They have remained in their holes. The mighty men fail, they become as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. So it say the man have became as women. All right. And so the biggest problem with this, one of the biggest problems that some people probably don't think about, is when the man of your nation start acting this way, it leads to the construction of your nation. Because when the men start acting like women, nations around about believe they can attack you, take your country, and take control. So why would you fear men like this? Men that are this weak, this soft, this feminine. All right. And this goes into Babylon, going into it with China, getting into it with Russia, Iran, and then you got all these other nations, North Korea, certain African nations, you know, Babylon's at this time and place got a lot of enemies rising up against it. And for a nation to air a show like this, during a time like this, shows that this place has no understanding and pretty much no time left. All right. A politician should have gotten away and stopped a show like this from coming out, especially when you got other nations who are thinking about attacking you at this very moment, even as we speak. I'm gonna play this, and then I got a few more clips, and then I'm gonna get some more Bible verses.
Polyandry is the practice of one woman having multiple husbands, but those husbands cannot have any other partners. I have two husbands who love me.
There's definitely like a double standard. When a female has multiple partners, it's, oh my god, she's such a slut, she sleeps around.
How is it the sleeping situation? Not all one room.
No.
I'm on room, and then she shares a room with him.
Oh.
You were the first man I let my partner, Kim, be with. I was watching my partner fall for another man right before my eyes.
And how you gonna juggle 3 guys like that?
To see me holding hands with somebody else or like kissing someone else, you don't think that would be hard?
It wouldn't be easy.
To do this lifestyle successfully, you have to be willing to go outside of your old comfort zones.
Yeah. There is absolutely no way to do this lifestyle successfully. All right. And I'm going to get it for quite a few different reasons. All right. It's not just one reason that is impossible. For starters, your men acting like women. Your women are trying to be masculine like men. That alone kills the success rate and brings it to zero. All right. But this was told that things were going to be this way in the last days. This is Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, 12th verse. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee, cause these to err, and destroy the way of their paths. So pretty much saying, whenever a woman is in charge, it's going to cause you to make the wrong decisions. All right. And clearly the women are in charge of this. because you got multiple men. And like one of the reasons that it is so hard for blended families to work is because a woman comes, she has kids, ex, and then she tries to get with another man. And the problem that comes up is now you got two heads to their family. All right. You know, you can't have two heads, two chiefs. All right. Let's say what that old saying is, too many chiefs and not enough Indians. You know, that old racist saying, but you run into that. All right. Everyone can't be the head. All right. And on this case, you got one woman and like 2, 3 heads. I mean, that's gonna automatically cause division and problems. All right. Now, you go over to Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter. All right. And first verse. If a man, no, all right, they say, if a man put away his wife and she goes from him and becomes another man's, she should she return unto her unto should he return unto her again? So pretty much if a man is the was, puts away his wife, it means his wife leaves him and divorces him. Cause it's pretty much anytime a woman leaves one man and goes to sleep with another man, that is divorce. Alright. That's adultery. Alright. That is her leaving that man and going to another man. Alright. And the scriptures did this way for a reason. Alright. The reason why a woman begins to bond with any man, because a woman is a receiver. Alright. And there's pretty much no getting around it. Women receive from their men. Alright. And if we go over to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, 23rd verse, and Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She should be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore, should a man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and they should be one flesh." And what makes you one flesh is the act of sex. Because when a man ejaculates into a woman, whether it be her vagina, mouth, or her skin, the 3 main places that when the couples have sex that the semen go. All right. So whether it be in her vagina, on her skin, or in her mouth, that man's DNA is absorbed into her. And yes, it's even absorbed through the skin. That has been proven. Wherever goes on your skin, it's absorbed into your pores and goes into your body. So when a man's sperm is taken in by a woman, that woman begins to inherit his essence, his likeness, his deed, his spirit. And she begins to be more and more like that man. That's where you get that old saying, that sexual healing. All right. And what happens when you have multiple men sleeping with the same woman? That woman's spirit is constantly trying to align with each man that she is sleeping with. And that throws her all out of whack and out of balance and back and forth. And eventually, the woman usually ends up becoming a schizophrenic and going crazy, which is pretty much probably what's going to happen to all these women, which I'm pretty sure the majority of them are probably already crazy. Because a woman can't take in that much DNA from that many different types of men and not go crazy. It's just how women were designed. Let me Jeremiah the 3rd. They say, if a man put away his wife and she goes from him and becomes another man's, should he return unto her again? Should not the land be greatly polluted? And thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, says the Lord. So the Lord is saying, once one lover has been inside a woman, when the second man comes, the woman is greatly polluted. She's damaged goods. And what you see is a show about women pretty much damaging themselves. All right, now I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to come back with some more scriptures.
Okay with her sleeping with other men?
Most of the time.
They assume multiple male partners. It's just about sex. That's definitely not it.
I want to ask you a question. Have you ever been in an orgy? Things really started to get awkward when I heard some noise in the basement, you know, a little moaning, a little groaning, a little do-do-do-do-do.
Just got real. I wish I could be everything that you need, but I can't.
I didn't think I was going to be swapped out.
And I don't feel like it's a swap out.
Well, that's because you're not getting swapped out.
Just not having a good time right now. Why are we talking about a wedding again? We're house shopping right now.
I feel like this is really selfish.
How can you justify you're married? How can you go out with another person?
Alright, so you see the man beginning to get jealous at the end of their clip. And really, that is probably the mindset, that the men are supposed to be in. They are supposed to be jealous when it comes to dealing with stuff like that. Alright, now, they are supposed to be jealous when it comes to dealing with stuff like that. Now, this is Proverbs, the 6th chapter, and I'm on verse 29, I believe. All right, Proverbs, the 6th chapter, 29. So, he that goes to his neighbor's wife, whoever touches her, should not be innocent. All right. So, pretty much saying, if you mess with your neighbor's wife, you're not innocent. Because a woman belongs to the first man, Pretty much when a woman loses her virginity and she gives the token of marriage, which is the little bit of blood that is shed when she loses her virginity. That is a blood oath that the man that did it is supposed to be her wife, all right, supposed to be her husband, all right. But we know it ain't like that in this society. Now, man, do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he should restore sevenfold. He should give all the substance of his house. But whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. So it's letting you know that none of these men here have any understanding, because they are constantly committing adultery, passing the same woman back and forth. And we know one of the things that causes disease, and the reason that the mole population has the highest rate of disease is mixing of sperm is one of the biggest things that leads to disease. Now, how do the sperm mix? The sperm needs a place to mix. So if a woman's womb is taking in multiple sperm, that sperm is missing, going against each other, and that causes a lot of disease. He that does it destroys his own soul. So it's letting you know, living like this is a destruction to your own soul for any man. All right, because men were meant to be men, not women. All right, so this lifestyle will destroy a man's soul. A wound and dishonor should he get, and his reproach should not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore, he will not spare in the day of vengeance. So it's saying this kind of lifestyle should make a man full of rage, full of anger, and it's a jealousy, and he should not be willing to spare. He would not regard any ransom, so there ain't no amount of money that you're going to be able to pay these men when they rage him. Neither will he rest content through thou givest many gifts. So you can't give this man nothing to take away his rage. And that's what this lifestyle leads to. It leads to a man who's ready, to destroy and kill whoever around him, because the manhood has been taken. All right, because all these men are very effeminate, but they gave away their manhood. All right, now this is Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. All right, Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, and they should surely be put to death. Their blood should be upon them. All right, so if a man, so pretty much, a man lying with mankind, both of them have committed abomination. All right, now, all right, now the 10th verse is what I meant to get. If the man that commits adultery with another man's wife, even he that commits adultery with his neighbor's wife, and the adulterer should surely be put to death. All right, I meant the 10th verse. You know what it is? You bring that 13th verse so much out in this society that sometimes you get mixed up. But it was the 10th verse that I was wanting for this list. All right, so pretty much these men are supposed to be put to death for living this lifestyle. Now, get into this video. Let me get Jeremiah 31, verse 22 again. How long will thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord had created a new thing in the earth. A woman should compass a man. All right. And it's a bad thing when a woman compass a man, because it was always meant for the woman to be a helpmeet to a man. All right. And we know we can get that from the beginning, because, that goes back to Genesis, and where, all right, in Genesis, the second chapter, 15 verse, and the Lord power took man and put him in the garden of Eve to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord commanded the man, saying, of the trees of the garden that is in the midst, mayest thou eat freely eat. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou should not eat of it. For in the day that thou eats of thereof, thou should surely die. And we know this is a parable going into the ways and the bouts of the other nations. All right. And the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him and help me for him. So the woman was created to help the man, not to be the head of the household, not to lead the household. All right.
Have this image in their mind of a truck driver being like a man with a big old stomach, big old beard, but women are getting out here and getting behind the steering wheel, showing these men how it's done. I throw them hands out that window and I whip that sucker around. They be like, you handling that big old truck. Yeah, because it's fun, it's exciting. We gotta make it know. I love to get that expression on people's face of like, can you really drive that? Yes, I got that funny. I am Carissa Rankin. I'm 36 years old. I'm based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a female truck driver, a social media influencer, and I make over 6 figures a year.
Now, when she go through her
Over the
breakdown,
past 5
she
years,
actually
I
makes
have hauled so much
70,000 a
stuff
year.
as a
But the biggest thing I have always seen when it comes to women truck drivers is not the ability to drive the truck. All right. Of course, women can drive a vehicle just as good, if not better, than any man. The problem is when a woman is away, who's raising the kids, nourishing them, teaching them right? Because let's face it, men are not good at their role. That role was designed for a woman. All right. And 2, it is not the safest job in the world. Not just because of the ability of the truck and the accidents. And of course, truck drivers got such high insurance costs. It's not guaranteed that you're coming home. When you leave out, that might be the last time that you was ever home every time you leave. But the biggest thing too is people don't realize a lot of truck drivers are robbed. So I don't talk to a lot of the people and hear a lot of robbery stories. What they do when you at the truck stops, jackals will hide in between the trucks, and they'll run out, put a pistol on you, and drag you off in between the trucks and rob you. All right. So why would anyone want a woman in situations or having to deal with being in places they can get like that from time to time? All right. To me, is kind of ridiculous. All right, this is First Peter, the 3rd chapter, 7th verse. All right, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So, the women are the weaker vessel, all right? So the more dangerous jobs are supposed to be given to the man. All right. So when you put a woman in a position like this, you're putting her pretty much out the way and putting her into a position that is really not meant for her to be in. All right. The woman is supposed to be a helpmeet to the man. Now this is First Corinthians, the 11th chapter, and I'm gonna get verses 8 and 9. All right. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for a woman, but the woman created for a man. All right, and I don't have to play this whole clip. What I was trying to get. Wow, Salaki trying to skip forward. Seeing advertisements and ain't even supposed to be playing yet. All right, this is what I wanted. So, all right, this family right here. All right, so you got the man at the house, the 2 kids right there, and for a man to even have his woman out working like this, my guess must be these must not be his kids, right? Because who would want the mother of a child out? But who knows, if you got a blended family, you get into weird shit like this. All right, now, what kind of family is this where the woman goes out and does a dangerous job and the man stays at home with the kids? All right, that is looking pretty bad. Now, I know his kids might be old enough to where they're watching themselves, but even with that, if both parents are gone all the time working, you ain't really getting no kind of family bond. The woman should be at the house, all right? That's just the way it is and the way it should be, all right? And you get all this weird stuff and this, and we know that the scriptures are clearly telling us that, the Lord ain't for all these, what you would call effeminate men, all right? This is First Corinthians, the 6th chapter, 9th verse. All right. Knowing ye now that the unrighteous should not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, neither idolaters, neither adulterers, neither effeminate. And effeminate is man that act like women. And you're pretty effeminate if you got your woman out here doing something this dangerous. No abusers of themselves with mankind, no thieves, no covenants, no drunkards, no revealers, no extortioners should inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. All right. So pretty much the same man with this weak nature are not going to inherit the kingdom. All right. So as you can see, these are pretty weak. Now, when it comes to the subject of, that first video, let's see, I think I got one more clip. I don't think I got it pulled up. All right. Okay, man. As for marriage, I'm gonna play that in just a second. But when it comes to the subject of a man having multiple wives, we know it's susceptible because, for starters, it is written in our laws that it is susceptible. All right, let me get Exodus, the 21st chapter, 10th verse. All right, if he takes him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage should not be diminished. So it's saying if you take another wife, her food, marriage is that. So that means a man is allowed to have more than one woman. And if he do not these 3 unto her, then she should go out free without money. All right. So pretty much, if you don't keep the woman at the status that she is when you take another wife, then your first wife is allowed to go free. Now you go over to 2 Samuel, the 12th chapter, 8th verse. And this is what the Lord told King David. And I gave thee thy master house and thy master wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if they have been too little, I will moreover give it unto thee such and such things. So pretty much the Lord's letting King David know if he didn't have enough wives, he would have gave him more wives, that he didn't have to commit adultery, which we know King David did. He would have gave him more wives. All right, now this is Malachi, showing that a man can have multiple wives. A woman is only supposed to have one man, but a man can have multiple wives. The 3rd chapter, 6th verse. All right. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. All right. So the Lord letting us know he do not change. All right. And I just want to do this video, pretty much getting into, that weak feminine nature that Babylon the Great deals for men. It got to go. All right. It got to go. And this next little clip, how we are taught that marriage proposals are supposed to go, just shows even more of that weak feminine nature that you're raised with in Babylon the Great. All right. And in a normal society, the man decide for the women what's best. The father, picks the right man for his daughter to be married to. Because no man have a better sense of what is better for the family. All right. Yeah, I guess this one ain't gonna play. Oh, there you go. And you see, she turned the man down. Yeah. And that is what this society did. All right. The man looking hurt, woman saying no. Because everything is in the woman's control. All right. The woman has surpassed the man in this society, like the scriptures say. Now, all right. And I'm in this one with 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, 14th verse. Let go of the mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of man, and put off now the weak nature. And we are at the time that we are supposed to be putting this weak nature off and letting go. All right. So all these things, these men acting like women, women trying to be man, is out of order. And the Lord is requiring that things get back in order. And that's why this word is going off. All right. So I'm gonna read that verse one more again. 2nd Ezra 14:14. Let go of the mortal thoughts and cast away the burdens of men, and put off the weak nature. And with that, I'm gonna say, Shalom.